Good morning. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you're having a good morning so far. Still a little bit early, not too early, but just a little bit early. Some of y'all are catching this a little bit later, so it's not quite as early, right? So, anyway, make sure you get ready for our Bible study on Thursday nights. We're still covering First John. We're up to chapter 3. And man, it's been good. It's been really good. So make sure you plan on that this week. I don't know if I have any other announcement type stuff going on. I don't. So anyway, you can watch those videos on my YouTube channel or on you can go to the videos here on Facebook and catch those if you want. They've been really good. I mean, it's because we've got several people pouring in some insights and thoughts and questions and it's so fun to glean from one another. That's what fellowship is all about. Is learning from one another and being joined together and just digging into the word. And it's I've really enjoyed it. So enjoy it while it's here because we'll be done in a couple of chapters finally. Right. So a few more weeks we'll be done with that. Anyway, I woke up this morning with this scripture on my mind. Actually, I thought of, and I put it in the description here, Psalm 121. It says, um, I will lift up my, this is the New King James says, I will lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence comes my help. That's where does my help come from? David's asking, or the psalmist, I don't know this David. The psalmist says, does my help come from? He said, I'm going to look to the hills. No, my help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. And there's so much in those two little verses. But I want to focus on one thing. First, let's think about this for a second. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. God. He's my help. Now, back in the day, I'm guessing they went to the mountains to they built altars in the mountains. Sometimes the pagans were in the mountains. That's where they did their worship ceremonies. He's like, am I going to go to the mountains for my help? No, I'm going to God for my help, right? And so, but he starts out with, let's see, and I think the way I wrote this, so it must be the different versions. I will look to the Lord for where my help comes from. Some versions say that, and I don't remember what this one said. This one says, I look up to the mountains as my help come from there. No, my help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. So we don't want to look at anything else to be the answer we need for life. So I started thinking about that. I will look to the Lord. That's the way I wrote the chorus. So I don't know what version that would be. Probably the New American Standard. I will look to the Lord, who that's where for my help. He is my helper. He is the one who sustains our soul. He is the one who carries us when we can't walk anymore, right? He's the one that gave us peace throughout a whole crazy pandemic, right? When the world went crazy, it's still crazy. He still gives us peace, right? He's the one we're looking to for our source of peace, happiness, joy, all of that, right? He is our source of whatever we need, right? And so we want to look to him. But as I was thinking about that, I thought, okay, there's other scriptures about looking to God. So I immediately in my mind went to Hebrews 12:1, and he says this. Let me let's see. He says, "Let us run with patience or endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith." And I got hung up on that little term there. So, but we're talking about what we're looking at. We're looking at God, the Creator, who made heaven and earth, is our help. That's where we look to Him because He is our help. We look to Him because He is our rock. We look to Him, and this says because He is the author and finisher of our faith. And I got hung up on the author of our faith because in Romans it tells that Paul told us that He gives every man a measure of faith. Everybody gets it. Everybody gets faith. He gives every man a measure of faith. And I believe, personal opinion here, personal opinion alert, that's the faith we need to get saved. I think about Ephesians. Ephesians 2 says that it's a gift of God. Through faith we trust in the sacrifice Christ made, right? So we're going to look to him. He authored our faith. He created. As an author, I sit down and I create a book. I sit down and I write it out. I create it in that sense. I don't have one handy. I created my own thank you cards this week. That was fun. I made it, right? But he gave us, he authored our faith. So he put faith in everybody's heart so that we could get to him. See, I've said this before, but it bears mentioning again that before he said, "Let there be light," he made a way that so we could get back to him. A part of that plan was he planted faith in your heart. So you can't say you don't have any faith because he gave you some. And I'm pretty sure you can't get rid of it if he put it there. But he put enough faith in you that you would be able to get back to him. That when you got to that, during the pandemic, and many of us, we didn't know what to do at the beginning, right? A lot of people were really, I was scared. I'll be honest, I was scared. We didn't know. I laugh now at some of the things we did because I'm going, really? But we didn't know, right? We didn't know. It was a real volatile time emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, all the way around. But he was there. He still, that faith that he gave us was still there. Now, that faith that he gives is enough, more than enough, to get us back to him. So I ask you again this morning, what are you looking at? Are you looking at I'm sorry, but that's just sounds so powerful in my heart right now that he authored our faith. He gave us a measure of faith. He wanted to make sure that when we went, "Oh, I think I need God," we could get there. Right? Now, do we grow that faith? Yeah, over the years we get in the Word, we grow that faith, we learn faith in a sense, we learn to trust God just like you learn to trust a friend in a relationship, just like you learn to trust your parents as a child, right? And so there's a lot of learning to do, there's a lot of nurturing to do, and there's a lot of growth that happens with our faith, right? But He gave us faith, He authored faith, He created it, He made it. The same God who in Psalm 121 it says, made the heaven and the earth. He literally made everything we need, just like Peter says, for life, just to sustain this life in the flesh, and godliness to sustain our lives in the spirit, right? He authored our faith. So I proposed this morning that you can trust Him with everything else. Since He authored faith and put it in you so that you could get to Him when you decided you wanted to. He didn't force it on you. He just gave you faith so you could. And then when you choose to, you've already got the faith to reach out to a God who has been waiting for you all these years. Yeah, doesn't that just blow your mind? It blows my mind. I'm sorry. It didn't take much, but it blows my mind, right? And so I'm just hung up on that phrase, He authored my faith. He authored the faith so that I could get to Him. And why would He do that? Because He can't wait for us to come to Him and say, "Hey, God, isn't that?" Do you remember when your kids were little and they would come in the room and go, "Hey, Mom, hey, Dad"? And when they did it that first time, little bitty, when they called, Babylon didn't really, it still counted the first time they said mama or dada, dada, right? But when they recognized you were mom and they came in the room and said, "Mom," they're that first time, or "Mommy," wow, that it should have done something in your heart. You know what? God's heart flutters like that too when we go, "Hey, God, hey, Dad, hey, Abba, Father." Our Father, my Father, who's in heaven, and He says, yeah, what you need, what you need. Oh man, it touches His heart, and He gave us the faith to be able to do that. Wow. So if we can trust Him for that, we can trust Him for peace. If He so intricately planned our coming to Him, we can trust Him that He intricately planned to give us peace during this day. He purposefully planned for us to have His grace for today. He told Paul, "My grace is sufficient for you." And Paul was going, "Look, I'm facing all this and I don't like it and I want you to take it away." And God's going, "My grace is enough. My grace is enough. The faith He gave you is enough." It's God's faith, right? He created it. He's the author of it. He made it. It's a perfect fit for your heart. And it fits there perfectly so that you can call out at Him when you need Him. Whenever you get old enough to recognize, wow, there's a God, and I think I want to know him. It doesn't matter if you're 3, 8, or 83, or 93, or 103. He's right there. He's waiting for that moment. Same thing with peace. Jesus said, I'm leaving my peace here. And he loves it when you go, okay, God, I'm going to need some of that peace. I thought I could do it on my own, but I ain't got no peace here, so I'm going to have to. He just waits for us to need him. Remember, there's a scripture in Isaiah 30, is it 15, that says, he waits for us to wait on him. So he's just sitting there waiting, going, I know you're going to come get some peace. I gave it to you already. I know you're going to figure this out, and I know you're going to let it reign in your heart. He gave us the tools we need to serve him effectively. He gave us what we need to get back to him. That just blows my mind. God gave, so it says God gave every man, every person, a measure of faith. You have the faith you need today. Why? Because our help, our faith comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. So I'm asking you again the title of this, what you looking at? Let's look at the author of that faith. Wow. Let's look at him today. Let's look to him for that peace in our hearts. Let's look to him as our provider. Let's look to him as our daddy God. Let's look to him as our creator. Let's look to him as the one who's going to carry us through this day, the one who says, my grace is sufficient. His grace, the creator, the author of faith, the creator of faith, the creator of the heavens and earth, the creator of you. He is what we should be looking at today. That's where my thoughts are going to be focused today. Peace out. I pray that he just multiplies peace and grace and mercy to you today. And I pray you have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.